It's been a while, but I am back, and I hope that you can forgive me for maybe making this video a little bit longer than usual. And here's why. We're gonna be doing some great things today, but the reason why it's gonna be longer is because instead of one speed paint, we're gonna be having 6, because I love giving myself a lot of work and showing you guys why it's important to push yourselves to new limits. So that's what we're gonna do today. The last video, if you don't remember what the image looked like, put it up there, let you see it. All right, come back down. You need to see me. Yeah, all right. Anyways, we're gonna be continuing the same character, but we're gonna be telling a story with him. And so what I'm gonna be telling you guys from what I told you last week with an extension is that when you're creating characters, it's best to just pick a moment, a defining thing, and then run with it. And just keep on jogging until you know, the character hits you right in the face and you're like, oh, this is who they are, this is their personality. And that's pretty much all I got. I probably should jump into what this is gonna be. So let's make that happen. So last week, when I had this image and I was creating it, my thought process was I wanted you to get to know this character, and I have named him. I've named him. His name is Night. Yes, Night, as in like nighttime. You'll see why. It's important. So now we're skipping in to the second image I have of him, which is a profile. So if you're like me and profiles aren't your favorite, I know how you feel. But profiles aren't my favorite because sometimes it's hard for a profile to, show all the emotion, because you can't really see that brow and you can't really see anything else but what the image is showing you. Does that make sense? Like, you can't see a lot of emotion. It eliminates half the face, so it eliminates half the emotion. Duh. Okay, that's the best way to say it. But what I wanted was, I slowly want you to literally feel like the sun is rising as these images progress. And so this, younger boy, I kind of got him where maybe he might be around the age of like 14 to 15, and right now I'm kind of playing around with his hair. I really want his hair to show that beautiful sun hitting it, because come on now. You telling me I'm not the only person that sees that magical glow of the sunrise hit their locks and be like, oh, wish they could say like this all the time. But basically, I am fooling around with his eyes right now. I really wanted him to have these piercing lilac eyes, because I know you're thinking, lilac eyes, that's not natural. We're gonna forget about that, because he's gonna have lilac eyes. In order to make him look a little bit more boyish, I've kind of eliminated his Adam's apple a little bit. I've played it down. I've got that soft jawline. And the second image, what I really wanted to accomplish was literally this moment of that turn. Like in the first image, you saw that he was waiting on something, and it was something obviously really important to him, because he was really nervous. And so now I have it where you still got a little bit of that nervousness, but you can kind of get the motion that he is turned around and he's looking. And so the third image, which we're getting into now, I have him sprinting. And as you can see, his entire face has, brightened. You can see it's a little bit more lively. You can tell that smile has come back in, and the eyebrows are raised. He's happy. You've no idea what he's sprinting to, but by geez, he's sprinting to it hard, and he's super excited. I must say, I decided to go a lot lighter with these backgrounds, because really when you're doing something like this, your focus should solely be on making that character as best as you can, and they should be the focus of the drawing. And so another reason why I kind of chose this time of day, not only is it pertinent to what my character needs, but also it's pertinent because that means I don't have to do as much detail. So right now you can kind of see that I'm figuring out some things, Gonna give that land just a light kind of brush over dusting, just to kind of get a little bit of a feel of what it. Oh, by the way, I might say I chose for him to be in a really simple outfit at first, because sometimes when I'm doing my characters, I just prefer to put them in a plain t-shirt and maybe some jeans. Sometimes they keep them, sometimes they don't, but when I'm trying to focus on something, I choose one or the other. So if I have an inspiration for somebody and it comes from a facial feature, I'm gonna do that first. And the reason why is I'm gonna ignore the clothing and make it generic, because right now I'm trying to define the personality and the face first. And that's something that I feel some people get kind of a little bit backwards. And if you're designing the outfit first, then, you know, play around with it as well. I've jumped into the next image, and I'm doing a landscape. The reason why I did this is I wanted you guys to get a feeling of the setting in my head of where this is taking place. When you're doing kind of these storyboardings for your character, it's important to have a couple of change-ups of angles. One, to make your audience not so bored, and two, because you want them to know where the heck they are, where they're placed, where things are around them. And so, like I said, I really am gonna do this a quick speed landscape. And you can tell what he's been waiting on is coming to him, and you're excited for him, and he's excited, and the sun is rising. I did a really soft gradient with it. And I remembered doing this, and the feeling I wanted. I'm all about painting, or digitally painting, fleeting moments that will, you blink and they're gone. And the reason why I do that is because that's something that's really hard to capture, and it's a beautiful moment. And I think this perfectly represents one of those moments that I'm talking about, where the sun is just that perfect hit on those rocks, and you can tell he's got his arms stretched out. He's welcoming exactly what he's been waiting for all freaking night long. He's so excited. He's so happy. I forgot to mention it, but I was very proud of when I decided in the profile image that you saw a couple of images back, putting a nose ring on him. I was very proud of myself for that one. I thought it just suited him. Sometimes this is something that you'll understand. Your character, I like to have conversations with them. I know that makes me sound partially crazy, but when you're designing a character, it's almost like, I can tell you exactly what it's like. Remember when you get in a fight with your friend and you're like, oh my God, I freaking hate them. And you're super mad, okay? You're mad at them. And then you think to yourself, as you're going, you're hyping yourself up, you know, like this is exactly what I'm gonna say to them about how they've wronged me or how this person's wronged you. And then you're like all kinds of mad. And then you make responses of what the person would say back to you. And sometimes the argument's better in your head than it is in reality. Anyways, the point of that being, I know that that's happened to me and multiple people. So you are capable of creating these people already in your head and what they're gonna say and what they're gonna do. And when you start doing that, you're really getting a feel of that character. You're really getting a feel of them. And that's exactly what you want. So in this image, I've got him kind of reaching up. He's gonna be touching something. You'll see that in a minute. I promise I'm not gonna leave you hanging. But I have his clothes kind of like whooshing away because I'm getting ready for an outfit change, and it's really important. I think that when towards the end of this image, when you see the thing that's missing right now because it's not been drawn yet, you'll understand exactly where I'm coming from. But basically, this boy is not a regular boy. He is, I don't know if godlike is the exact way I would put it, but he's special. So that's why I have his wardrobe change to be very dramatic and flamboyant. Also, that just adds just something fun for you as the viewer to see. once again, you can see I'm switching up these angles. You can see that I've put the bats in. If you got to guess when I was telling you what he was waiting on, it's his little bats. He's a bat keeper. Isn't that so much fun? So the next image, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys, I did not do a speed paint for it, and here's why. Your girl got tired, okay? I got tired, and here's why. Usually I listen to music while drawing. But come on guys, this took me so freaking long. Okay, 2 reasons why, okay? Gordon Ramsay and Ugly Betty, okay? I wanted to watch 1 episode of each while drawing this. So sue me, I'm so sorry. But you'll see, it's important, it's pertinent to put this image in. I basically took the same pose. You can see I've taken his hand and I've kind of stretched it back. I've got his clothing now, it's going all kinds of way. It's flipping, it's, you know, swooshing. You can get the feel of this tornado. These bats have kind of encased him and they're swooping around. And now we'll get into the part where he's got that dramatic wardrobe change that I was talking to you guys about. I did a lot of research about, you know me, love my research. I did a lot of things about the look that I wanted and how I wanted him to, you'll hear it a lot, but the simpler your lines, the better it comes across to your audience what you're trying to say. And so you have to be able to draw something that's not complicated, where you can replicate it quickly, but also something that's a little bit different. And the more and more people are creating, we've got this mass amount of sharing through the internet, you kind of come to find that sometimes what you create isn't as original as you thought it was. Which, don't let that scare you, because if you thought that way, nothing would ever get created. But a lot of research will help you in finding a way to make your character something different. And so what I did was I gave him this really long coat, and it's super long in the front and then it's short in the back, and it's gonna have these kind of sequences or bones kind of down it. And you'll see in this image is where we really decided to give the bats personality, because in the previous images I was really focusing on him and their interaction, but the interactions between them is only gonna get more and more intimate as these images progress. And so towards the end, I'm gonna be giving each little bat kind of a little characteristic. I don't want them to be a group. I want them to be individuals with feelings, and you can kind of begin to see how each of them love this little boy and how he loves them back, and how he waited all night long for them to come back to him to kind of give back his power to him. And I just think it was a beautiful moment that I thought when I was creating this character in my head, this little bat keeper who watches over his bats and they watch over him, that their moment of reuniting was probably what was going to be a good place to start, which is really cool. You'll see when I draw the bats later on, they're going to have this fur kind of around their collar, and so I naturally gave him a fur collar to kind of link them, which is a great thing to think about when you're making maybe a set. You know, Disney like their sidekicks. A lot of things like their sidekicks. There's usually something to connect them all. Or, you know, a tribe. They all have a certain pattern, but they're all individual, kind of. You can see that in Avatar: The Last Airbender, they have that feeling of, you know, the color scheme and all that, but still a way to make them all individual. And if you haven't already been able to tell, I really am playing down the saturation, because when the sun rises, you have this deep saturation just pouring in over, and then as the sun rises, you know, the sky, well, you know, it turns blue. So there's a moment where those saturation and those colors get subdued, and we're kind of at that point now. I'm really trying to work on drawing all these cute little bats, and you can see I have the one around his leg and then the one that's like fixing to land on his pointer finger. Oh gosh, we're so quick. I'm jumping into the next one, which is him basically feeding his little bats mangoes. And you can see we got one just kind of passed out on the side. He has eaten too much. We've still got the one that's shy behind him, trying to like tug on him. I have the one that got a little hole in its wing looking up at him like, hello, fix this, please. Fix my wing, sir. I flew too much. please help. Got the one staring off in the distance, telling him secrets, the one nibbling out of his hand. All kinds of good things. This image, in a quick glance, you can see that he's not scared of these bats. They are a part of him, and he is a part of them, and they give him something, and in return, he also gives them something, whether it's companionship or food. It's not important for the audience to know that yet, but it's important for them to know exactly where this character is. And so, basically, this idea came from them eating mangoes. When I was in Australia myself, we were at a farm, and basically the bats kept eating the mangoes off the mango tree. Then they would drop those stupid mangoes on the tin roof that we were staying on. And let me tell you, it sounded like a bomb going off at like 2 a.m. and you could not sleep there. So I thought to myself, I'm gonna make the best of I can of this moment, and I'm gonna be feeding these bats mangoes because they like them. I know they do. And I hope that you really enjoyed this episode, because I really enjoyed making it for you guys. It took me a long time to finish this. My God, oh my goodness. Way longer than I expected. I really hope that you get a feel of what this character is. I hope that you understand a little bit more of my process. Maybe the way I do my process can help you a little bit create your lovely characters. And, or you know, even the things that I say, they're not just for, you know, drawing, or you can apply them to, you know, your writing, your song creating, just anything I can do to help you in your creative process is gonna make that lovely community that I'm really hoping to get. And hopefully you get the feeling of, you know, this little boy has been waiting for something. Oh, he's found it. Ooh, it's bats. Ugh, he loves his bats. And then, I don't know if I'm making any sense. Sleep is far and in between, but I will say this. Thank you for coming back, and I really enjoyed having you. And as always, you guys better be staying sketchy, because normal is boring. Catch you in the next video. Button.